All right, so you guys are used to seeing me grade all my trimmers. If you guys have ever watched any of my best of videos, best clippers, best shavers, best trimmers. So let's actually grade it right now and see how it would stack up. And if you guys wanna see how it stacks up against the rest of the competition. Oh, so this is where it's at. It's the Fort Worth Barber Supply. All right, let's see what's actually in the box when we open it up. So we'll slide it out, and of course we get the trimmer itself. And if you notice, it is backwards, and we're gonna get into that. I know some of you guys are wondering if it comes with the wireless charging, and we'll get into that in a second, but it comes with standard plug, USB-C cable, an additional cam follower, bag of goodies with a screwdriver and a zero gapping tool, and your oil, which most barbers don't use enough of. So one of the first features that jumps out at you is the battery life indicator. This one's currently at 83%. I do think it's a great idea to know exactly where you are with your charging, because personally, I don't like to leave things plugged in overnight. I think that it actually causes the battery to deteriorate over time. So I kind of plug them in, and I like to kill them off all the way and then just plug them in again. That's just a personal preference. One curiosity I have, and one of the main features here, is wireless charging. Tomb45 has been known for creating wireless charging. So I can actually use the wireless charging mat, which is actually sold separately, and they're really not that expensive, and they plug in with a USB-C cord in the back. But this could actually sit on your station. You can drop both the clipper and the trimmer on the exact same one, and both of them have great runtime, so you really don't need more than one charging pad if you don't want it. I don't really like to have additional stands and stuff on my station. I typically usually plug things in and put them in a drawer. Now this has USB-C charging, which makes it good for world use, traveling, and just generally traveling light. And personally, I like this idea more than a removable battery just because it's easier to charge. Quick curiosity, a question for you guys: is wireless charging something that you guys feel like you will do? Will you buy the charging pad? Will that be something that is interesting to you? I'm just curious, drop it in the comments. Now, the next feature here is actually the blade. They have a new MIM metal injection molding blade, which actually, after speaking with Edward from Fort Worth Barber Supply here, he kind of educated me a little bit on this. And when they mold the blades, they can make them into different shapes, they can put different patterns, and this actually has oil reservoirs inside of it. For the longest time, I feel like the best blade from Babyliss has always been the OG Gold FX blade, personally, and now they have a variety of different blades they've put out, like this is the DLC 2.0 and all this stuff. But for me personally, on every hair type, the OG blade was always the best. And it's been a while since they've created one that I feel like can actually rival it. And I do feel like this blade can actually rival that blade. Of course, you can zero gap it, but me personally, I used this straight out of the box and it was excellent. Let's talk about the body. Now the body itself, it's really designed to be a liner. It's really designed to be held this way, make lines, and it's super ergonomic, and it just really fits your hand well. I really love the rubber grip. I love the texture. And another little feature on the body is it actually has this little removable drop top lid that allows you to keep the cam followers clean. Now, as far as noise goes with the blade, I've never really clocked it higher than 71 decibels. When I first got it, it was at 70. We've been using it for about a month. It's at 71. So when it comes to making lines, they do a great job, and I got no complaints. It's very comfortable for the line work, and it was kind of designed to be held this way. Now the motor has 2 speeds, and to switch between them, you just gotta hold that little button down on the top, and you'll actually see that top light go out. You know you're in the lower setting, and then if you hold this down, it'll go back into the higher setting. Now the 2 speeds for me personally doesn't really serve that much of a purpose. It seemed to line great with both of the speeds. It was making lines. That was never a problem. But when it comes to bulk removal, we'll talk about that in the next section, and that's actually gonna be the negatives. So when it comes to the negatives, I really don't have a lot of bad to say about this. This is overall just such a great trimmer, but honestly, I could do without the 2 speeds. I'm used to my trimmers removing bulk. I'll flip it around this way, and it's just a tiny bit uncomfortable, and there has been times where I've accidentally pushed the button and it caused it to jump to the lower speed. And it'll still remove bulk at the lower speed, but you definitely notice a difference when it goes up to that higher speed. And it's not really a deal breaker. Like, the more I did it, the less it happened. And the last thing I kind of noticed was the backward shape of the unit. I've kind of found myself fumbling around with it, grasping it upside down, and it's really ergonomic for making the lines. And to be honest, this really isn't a huge deal breaker, but it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve. How does it compare to other trimmers? Well, the Tomb45 blade, it really reminds me of the Wahl high-vis blade. They're actually kind of similar. And one thing about the Wahl high-vis blade was it made good lines, but it did kind of struggle with removing bulk. If you're gonna use this to take a bunch of bulk off the side of the head, I definitely had a few snags and a few pulls, and under the neck. I can say that that's about where the similarities end, because the Tomb45 trimmer never really snagged, never pulled, never gave me no issue, and it can remove bulk. The Sabre, the Wahl, the new Tomb45, all of these blades are about the exact same width. So if you're talking about debulking, if you're concerned that it's too small, that's actually not the case. They're actually all about exactly the same. Now, if you look at these two trimmers before, I would have told you that I actually thought the Tomb45 blade was a little less wide. I actually thought it was a little bit smaller. It's not. These are actually, the cutting surface is actually the same as all of their other blades. It's just the little laser cutouts that they did here to make a different shape. Other than that, they're actually the same size. But the real difference here would be this blade actually has those oil reservoirs, which will help keep it lubricated and cutting better throughout the process. But there are people who say that it also becomes a bit of a hair trap, and it can kind of create a little bit of a buildup. But if you clean it out, it won't be a problem. Honestly, and keeping it oiled a little bit longer would be a great thing. All right, so you guys are used to seeing me grade all my trimmers. If you guys have ever watched any of my best of videos, best clippers, best shavers, best trimmers, so let's actually grade it right now and see how it would stack up. And if you guys want to see how it stacks up against the rest of the competition 2025, you guys can check out that video. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to grade it. Battery life, that's 3 hours, that's 3 stars. Line, I'm giving this 5 stars. Bulk removal, I'm giving it 4 stars. Price, it's just under $200 or right at $200. I'm giving that 3 stars. And value, as far as what you get in the box, it actually doesn't come with a lot, which may or may not be a good thing, but it's 2 stars, and that gives us a total of 17 points. And if you want to see how it stacks up against all of the other trimmers out there, you guys can check out the best trimmers of 2025 video. Overall, it's a great trimmer. There are some great ideas here with the wireless charging. It works, it functions, it does what you want it to do. And if you guys are gonna buy this, you guys can use my code Eddie10 with Fort Worth Barber Supply. They will deliver it quickly and efficiently to you. But right now, there's been so many of these just flying off the shelf that they've been kind of hard to get, but they are starting to come in. So if you place your pre-order now, you guys will be good to go. So I want to shout out to Fort Worth Barber Supply for having me down here in Texas, in their store, shooting this content, and we're going to be ripping a bunch of different reviews in here. So if you guys like this video, obviously these are a lot of work. We have over 1,000 videos to help you learn. Subscribe if you're not already, hit the thumbs up, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace.